Hello world, you're watching 80s Music Twin Ranked. I'm Joel.
I'm Chris.
And today we're
doing
talking
the Philadelphia Eagles.
about the Philadelphia Eagles.
The band. Actually, we're doing the band Eagles.
The band the Eagles. Nobody watched it, so nobody knows that joke.
Because of last week,
Right.
Chicago.
Last week we did Chicago.
I had 3 views.
3 views. That's unpopular. Maybe the Eagles would be better because people like the Eagles.
Yeah, they're like Chicago. Like, who are they?
Alright, so today we're doing the Eagles. And interest, you were going to say we cheated. I know you edited that out. I said that last time you said you edited it out. I said we're cheating because you're like 80s Music Twin Ranked and you're doing the Eagles.
Oh, and there's a lot of 70s.
And you look at all of their first 6 albums and it's all in the 70s.
Right.
However, way back in the beginning I said I went through a book. And anytime somebody had a hit in the 80s,
right, yeah.
I included them if you get a top 10.
And Hotel California was 82, is that right?
No, Hotel California is 1976. The
Oh.
last album was Long Run, and on the long run, 2 songs made 1980. Well, actually, I'm thinking Seven Bridges Road came from a live album around that time, 1980. But they did get ranked. Seven Bridges Road and I Can't Tell You Why, which would be Timothy B. Schmidt's only song that was out on the radio with him on it, from the Eagles. He actually had some solo hits, believe it or not, and so did Randy Meisner. Very weird that those guys actually, as obscure as they are, had some 1980s hits that made the top 40. So that was weird. So we're doing the Eagles, and obviously they did have a huge influence in the 80s.
And even if we did cheat it, even if we were cheating,
Yeah.
who cares? It's our podcast.
That's right. Yeah.
Our video. We can
Twin
do it.
Rank.
We can do what we want.
Now you're saying, well, then if you're going to do that, do Led Zeppelin because they apparently had a hit.
Yeah, they had an album in the 80s. I know.
But I think they even there was an album, the one called Coda, but that was from previous hits,
Right. Yeah.
from different albums. So maybe we could do that. I wasn't a big Led Zeppelin fan.
I got their
Eagles.
box.
Did
set.
you?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you said you owned Hell Freezes Over?
Yeah.
From the
the
Eagles.
yes.
Okay, that was the. We're getting ahead of the game, but
In
in
the 90s.
1994, when the group reunited
For one album.
for one album, and it was called Hell Freezes Over,
Yeah, the only 2 hits I remember is Get Over It and Love Will Keep Us Alive.
and Learn to Be Still.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah, I remember that one more than Love Will Keep It Alive. Somehow, that last song, the Love Will Keep You Alive, made your top 10. I don't have any clue how that happened. They got way too many better hits for that to happen in my book. I don't know. Anyway, so let's go back in time to the beginning of the Eagles.
Before they were a band?
Before they were a band.
Sure.
Guess what country? Now they have beginnings.
Yeah,
say.
they're more like
Like a country band in the beginning. Not all of their songs, because obviously you got "Witchy Woman" on their first hit or first CD, and it's not a country song. "Witchy Woman" is definitely not country. It's actually kind of weird, even compared to anything else that was on the radio. But the other 2 songs, "Peaceful Easy Feeling" and "Take It Easy," those definitely sound like country songs.
Yeah. I mean, doesn't it have a banjo in it? It sounds like there's a banjo in it.
There might be
Any band that has any song that has a banjo in it, it's country or bluegrass or.
Well, that means in a few weeks when we do John Cougar Mellencamp,
Oh yeah.
he's definitely country because he has some.
He has a banjo.
Paper and Fire. That's a banjo.
Oh yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And a fiddle. So fiddles and banjos, you're country. Okay, so and Glenn Fry apparently got the duties to sing all those country songs because then he sang Lion Eyes.
Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
just like it. Yeah. So main 2 singers from the Eagles, Glenn Fry, Don Henley.
Got hired to be backup singers.
They were backup singers
and
for
played instruments
for
for.
Linda
And
Ronstadt.
she's a country singer.
And she was very famous back then too,
Right.
so we probably even listened to her, but I'm not sure. We're not
What
gonna
song
rank
is?
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're No Good, was that her? You're no
I
good.
don't remember.
You're no
I
good.
didn't look up any of her singles. I know we've heard.
I know,
songs.
and I said when I watched that movie that you mentioned when we did REO Speedwagon called FM, and it shows a little concert portion with Linda Ronstadt. And I didn't look to see if the Eagles are in the back.
Wasn't Linda Ronstadt in a movie too? Was she in the pirate movie?
No, I don't think she was. But in that movie, she actually sang a remake of a Rolling Stones song. So she wasn't even trying to stay all country. She knew where it was at. Rock and roll. Okay, so first album has those 3 hits just mentioned. And then, now what's your, we're going to hit ourselves again. What's your favorite album from the Eagles?
The only one I can remember would be, I can remember the album cover is Hotel California.
Yeah, and we didn't have that, but we had that aunt.
Yeah, she actually had the record
Right.
that had opened up and even had the inside where they say this person up here in the balcony is
Right.
the devil.
Now that's the one thing I like about having a record is when you have the cover, it's this big.
Yeah.
So we really examined that hotel window to see, is that really Anton LaVey or whoever they said it was supposed to be peeking out of the window? And that documentary you mentioned to me before the video,
Yeah.
they actually talked about that. They're like,
Yeah.
well, you don't know anything about that. Nobody was in that window. But would you say Hotel California was your favorite?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Which one? Wasn't there one that was just all black or all blank and just had the title on it?
That's probably the long run.
The long run again.
Yes.
Yeah.
The long run would actually be my favorite CD because it has by far the most songs that we know, the hits. So at least 6. Hotel California, I can only think of 4, maybe 5, if you include that slow one. After the Thrill Is Gone, I think is on that one.
Right.
All right. So,
And the long run has I Can't Tell You Why, which you cannot find on YouTube anywhere.
yeah.
That song.
Well, the Eagles, a lot of the
Yeah.
Eagles, you can't find the original one. They got
Covers,
updates.
Somebody has a cover.
Used to be able to, but again, that's got to be connected to Don Henley because you can't find anything. Well, you can find some things of Don Henley. But
Yeah,
there's specific songs you can't find on YouTube.
I watch people who do reviews and stuff about music, and the Eagles and their band members are notorious for claiming copyright. So people are like, don't even bother playing, like don't even play a section of Hotel California because your video is going to be taken down.
Really?
Yeah. So
Interesting. So that's
yeah. He's Don Henley's one of those big supporters of. If you want to hear us, go buy the album. Otherwise, you're ripping us off. So
I get you. Makes sense.
Yes.
And honestly, for their perspective, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But then for people who are poor, I like YouTube playing CDs. All right, so let me do. I haven't done this on any other band, but what do you think is their worst album?
What is their worst?
I can ask you this
album?
because there's really 6. Right? You know, we got this one down here that came along.
Desperado only had one hit, right? Desperado is the only.
Supposedly
Only had Desperado as a hit.
Well, Desperado was not actually a hit. It was never released as a single, but it was played all along.
Yeah.
Their hit on that was actually.
Oh, we always bring up Weird Al connections, and we didn't think he did anything of the Eagles, and then we just found he did Avocado.
That's got to be something off the original.
No, it was just before he was playing it. He was talking to somebody. It was like a skit they were doing.
Oh, okay.
Saying I can do a parody of anything. He's like proving it. Like they're like.
So that was a spur,
and he's like, and the guy.
of the moment.
Yeah, and the guy was like, well, how about Desperado, the album Desperado, and that's when he started singing.
Okay, that's cool because that means he didn't have anything.
But the song is only like 48 seconds, and I don't know if it's on an album.
He probably didn't. It could have been.
Probably just
He
YouTube.
put out some albums after the fact, like all the one parodies of food. He put a food album out. Anything he did regarding a TV show, the TV album.
Yeah.
So it could have been on the food album, but if he did it just recently in an interview, probably it's not there. Okay, so that's the Weird Al connection. But back to Desperado, it actually has Tequila Sunrise on it. That's the actual hit. And something else, but I don't remember the other song.
I don't think they really have any bad albums, but that's probably their worst, maybe.
That's probably their worst, I would say, yes.
That'd be my guess. So.
Yes. And as far as owning, we did also, our parents owned the 8-track of the original.
Yeah, they had that witchy woman that was split in two.
Yes.
It'd fade out and then it would come back in on the next side.
Why was that acceptable? Why was something like that acceptable? It's like listening to a CD and it skips. You're like, yeah, I'm fine with that. You're not fine with that. You're like getting a new CD or something. Stupid CDs.
Which is worse, the CD skipping? You just got to scratch the or start skipping,
Or the tape.
I've
slow.
had several. I've had 3 Yes tapes of 90125. Is that
Right,
what it was?
yes.
Because one time, you had the cassette player in your car, and I'm like, eject.
Yeah.
it's still stuck in it. Like,
Yeah, that's
well, I guess I'm gonna buy a new one.
I've even seen that in a movie where they show that you once the cassette's ruined because it doesn't all pull out. How does that happen?
VHS does the same thing.
And if you
sometimes.
leave it in a hot car, then you melt it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, all right. So not an '80s band, but very, very influential in the '80s. And the 2 lead singers, Don Henley, Glenn Frey, they lasted all 6 albums.
Right.
They're pretty much the only 2 that did that.
Yeah.
And then they
And their singing with the hits are pretty much 50-50. Pretty close.
it's like 11
Yeah.
hit songs with Don Henley, 9 with Glenn Frey, and then there's 3 other songs by solos. Like Joe Walsh had one,
Yeah.
Timothy B. Schmidt had one.
I thought Joe Walsh, for the longest time, I thought Take It to the Limit was Joe Walsh.
I did too. And then if you hear Joe Walsh, you're like, why'd we ever think that?
Yeah.
But that was Randy Meisner's
Yeah,
only hit.
and he quit the band because at the end,
Who, Randy Meisner?
yeah, because he didn't want to play, he didn't want to sing Take It to the Limit anymore. Fans liked hearing it, and they liked when he hit the high note.
Right.
He hated that. He's like, I can't really do it anymore, and he didn't want to do it. He got so angry, they're like, we want you to do it. So he did it, and then he's like, I'm done. And that was when he left. And
I wonder.
Joe-
All right, so Don Henley, he played multiple instruments. We think he played the piano.
yeah,
I would say
Isn't it funny? You listen to Eagle songs and you hear the drums. Like I just heard "Heartache Tonight" was on the radio, and he's the one going doom doom. But I'm like, he's not fit. You don't really when you think of Don Henley, you're always thinking of him singing. You don't really hear him think about him playing the drums on his songs.
Right, and
Even
so
though he did.
So he would have been known as the first drummer/singer before Phil Collins was.
Right.
I don't know if there was anybody before that who was a famous drummer and singer. Yeah,
I'm not gonna try to think on the spot.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So me and Chris were talking before that once the band folded. It's interesting when you look at all the bands we've done. Some fashion or another, bands constantly moved. I used to think it was only the Eagles. Their members would leave and somebody replaced them. Every band does that. Even Rush, who had 3 main ones through everything except for that first song.
Yeah.
The drummer had to change. Like every band switches people all the time. So the Eagles went through many changes, but it's funny that once we get to after the long run, and one of them they had a fight in a concert. Apparently, they were yelling at each other.
That was the first guitar player that got replaced.
Oh.
The Eagles were doing a benefit for a political person,
Okay.
and they were being shaking hands like, "Hey, great to be here." Yeah, and then he got to the last guy who was the guitar. What was the last other guitar? Don Fielder.
Don Felder.
Don Fielder. Okay. It's like great to see you. Glad you're here. And he's like, whatever. And Glenn Frey heard it and was so mad at him. It's in the special that you watch on YouTube.
But no, I believe.
So they were arguing on stage during the concert.
Yes.
And they have, you can hear the audio.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
But I thought
that was the last time he played with them.
I thought I heard that about Glenn Frey and Don Henley because that's the argument that made the split of them finally. Wasn't it during a concert?
Maybe. But that replacement, that guitarist was.
Because, you're like, why the finish right there after 6 successful albums?
Yeah.
And two are the best. The last 2 are the best. And then they split. And then they don't get back together until what? From 79 to 94. So like 13 years later. It's called Hell Freezes Over.
Yeah.
Because when Glenn Frey, they were asked
by an interviewer, when you get back together, and he's like, when hell freezes over.
Right,
So.
and so
Since they got back together, hell must have froze over.
nobody can verify that except unless you're a Bible believer, that's not the case. People are like, what's
nobody can
this?
verify that.
Imagine
Yeah,
people
and,
are
and-
like, why is it cold suddenly?
Yeah, this administration would say, see, climate change.
Yeah, something like that. But even, they get back together and they do that, and they have that one really good, I say one good hit, you say two good hits. But then even after that, they don't do another studio album for another 13 years later. Long Road Out of Eden, their last studio album, is in the 2007. So I forget.
Well, no, we did. We haven't had Hotel California, but we did have was their sister, our parents had the 45 of Heartache Tonight. We always heard that one. Somebody owned it. We played it all the time.
We had a box full of 45s. We'd always look through what's good. And most of it wasn't.
But for the Eagles, we had a Heartache Tonight.
Right.
And that's their best selling hit.
Is it?
Yep.
I don't know.
Probably Greatest Hits Part 1, the Volume 1. That was their best selling album. It's the #1 in the United States.
And we already told people we don't count as greatest hits. When it comes to that.
Yeah.
But their best studio album is Hotel California.
Yeah,
It's one of the top ranked albums of all time. But I still consider Long Run better. I just like the song with Long Run.
Right, that they said in the documentary again, they called that the Long One because it took a long time to record it.
Well, look at the chart. The first 5 albums, year after one year albums, and then 2-year gap before the Long Run.
Yeah.
So
Don Henley and Gilliam Fry are the two famous people from that, and they both had solo careers after. In both their solo careers, they do not sound like the Eagles.
No.
Besides their vocals and what they sound like, their songs don't sound like Eagles. But they also had Joe Walsh. He was later for the last 2 albums before they had to split.
He was in 2 albums. Timothy B. Schmid was only on that last one.
Yeah.
Joe Walsh was in the last 2.
And he was, of course, in the James Gang, and they had a couple of hits, and he had a solo career. He had Rocky Mountain Way, and
Life's Been Good to Me.
Life's Been Good to Me, yeah. But they are also, with we always bring up movies with bands that we do, and the famous movie we saw it when we went to band camp. They played it.
They were going to play Caddyshack, and then somebody changed their mind, and they played the Warriors instead, which is a good thing. Why are you playing Caddyshack?
I thought they were going to play Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I had heard that it was going to be Caddyshack.
Anyways, we saw the Warriors.
Which is not really an appropriate movie either.
No.
There's like cussing throughout, right?
Well, I remember when we were in school, they played the Poseidon Adventure for us, and halfway through it, they stopped it.
Because of that
and apologized to everybody for the language.
The one
then continued to play for us. So we saw the whole thing.
Yeah, we did see the whole thing.
Like, if it's that bad, you're sorry. Didn't you stop the movie?
We had probably seen the movie anyways, but we didn't see the Warriors until Bang.
No, yeah.
And did that not hook you on that movie though?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that was
I
awesome
could quote some
movie.
scenes, but they're again inappropriate.
Yes, and I would say it wasn't the greatest fighting in the scene. But back then when you're 13, it was very good.
No, but then after we watched it, we would go on the field to practice.
Did we try that?
What? No.
Oh,
what I'm saying is our band director.
Oh, okay.
Every time he would talk to us, then he would follow it up by, "Can you dig it?" Remember that? He would say that all the time.
I knew he did some.
He said, "Can you dig it?" all the time.
Yes. At least he didn't try to imitate the Warriors come out and play.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the movie, of course, then the movie ends.
Yes.
And it goes.
Joe Walsh is only Eagles song.
It's in the city. And I don't know for sure, but I thought that was a Joe Walsh song before the Eagles got it.
I thought it was just the Eagles, but I didn't look into that. But I thought it was first with the Eagles.
But that's the only one.
But here's the thing. I think it's the Eagles, one, because the movie came out in 1979, and so did The Long Run. So if it was on, I don't know.
No, I think it is the Eagles, but I'm saying it might have been one of his songs before.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
All right.
Anyways.
Maybe. All right, so funny, you were mentioning Heartache Tonight earlier. That's the first time I was with that aunt that owned the Hotel California album, and we were driving somewhere to probably to go to a fast food restaurant to eat. Back then, it was a big deal to go fast food because they weren't everywhere. Right?
They weren't on every
And I
corner.
remember Heartache Tonight came on the radio, and she knew all the words, and that was the first time, like, wow, somebody knows all the words to a song. I'm like thinking,
That's amazing.
Like people couldn't do that. Yeah, she could, because figure we were 9 or 10 around that time.
Yeah.
So. Anyway, so that's basically your history on the 6 albums. We'll say these 2 were the least known. It took 4 albums to make a greatest hits, and then when they come up with the second one, it only took 2 albums. So a lot of hits on those last 2. All right, so
yeah, they've sold over 100 million albums.
So they had
worldwide. So.
I mean, it doesn't take a genius to know they had a lot of influence on 80s music. There's even tribute albums for the Eagles stuff.
Yeah, it's hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't know who the Eagles are.
And even with it being a 70s band, I remember when we were in the 80s going to elementary school, Eagles songs constantly played on the radio. Almost like they dropped out and then they came back and everything was on again.
Hotel California. That's the song I hear the most out of them. You always hear it. But I remember not ever hearing it, and when it come on, it was a big deal. I mean, that was like all the time.
Yeah. And seeing a video of that is even more rare.
Well, you can watch that. You can watch that video on YouTube again.
Yeah. Now I used to like that song.
You don't like it anymore?
Don't like that song anymore.
It's been overplayed.
I used to like playing to it when we had the drum.
We'll have to do a top 10 overplayed songs.
There are a lot. If you go through just the time period we're living in right now, there's a
top 10 list of songs we used to like that we now hate because they were overplayed.
I know that I got a list of songs I wish I'd hear on the radio because they don't play them anymore.
Which ones you want to hear for them?
From them,
Take It Easy you hear a lot too.
You do hear Take It Easy a lot. What don't I hear?
You never hear One of These Nights?
You know what? The one from Hell Freezes Over. Get Over It.
They never play any of those.
I would like to hear that again.
They always play their older albums.
That's right. So there'd be the song. What about you?
Get Over It, Brian. Yeah, that'd be mine.
That'd be mine. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on to the top 10.
Top 10! Your favorite.
Just you want to change in case?
Yeah.
All right. Before we get to the top 10, there's a few things we forgot to say.
What did we forget to say?
Happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Frey.
Glenn Frey's birthday was yesterday.
Coincidentally. We never plan these kind of things. Somehow they always seem
that's why we're doing Eagles today.
We mentioned the Eagles and we do our research. We're like, hey, his birthday's this week.
And happy birthday to Joe Walsh in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, that's right. Now, here's something interesting. The Eagles are still around.
Right.
Playing concerts. You know who else joined the Eagles?
Vince Gill.
Vince Gill.
Vince Gill.
Country singer is now part of the Eagles.
And Glenn Frey's
son plays with him too, so that's kind of cool.
Vince Gill joined him to be part of the vocals because I don't know if his voice is similar to Glenn Frey's.
So Glenn Frey's son is doing the same thing Wolfgang did for his
for Van Halen.
All right, and also we didn't mention them all their songs, but the Eagles they do have another song that gets played seasonal. Coming Christmas, you're going to hear "Please Come Home for Christmas" a lot. Don Henley.
Don Henley.
But it's the Eagles. It's the Eagles, not Don Henley, but he sings it. So we'll be hearing that in a month. Well, actually, you can probably hear it now because they started playing Christmas music already. Stupid.
Should not be playing. Well, no, Christmas music after Halloween.
At least it's after
Christmas
Halloween.
music after Halloween.
But don't put your tree up until after Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. To the top 10. Okay. Now, first, honorable mentions. One of yours didn't make it. 2 of mine didn't make it. I already mentioned your song that didn't make it. I didn't say you like "Love Will Keep Us Alive" from Hell Freezes Over.
Right.
I do not put that very high on my ranks, so therefore it didn't make the top 10. And the 2 songs from my list that didn't make it were "Witchy Woman" and "Lion Eyes." "Witchy Woman" basically because it's unusual, and I wanted to put that in the top 10 because of how it doesn't sound like a lot of the other things. Now, "Lion Eyes"
doesn't matter if it's good or not. It's just unusual.
Right. and I like "Lion Eyes" because out of the three country-ish songs, Peaceful, Easy Feeling, Take It Easy, Lion Eyes is the best out of this. I wanted to put one of those groupings in there. All right, so to the 10, number 10, and here's why I'm gonna say our favorite is The Long Run when we combine, because we have 4 songs from The Long Run, 3 songs from Hotel California, and then the other 3 each come from an individual. So it's similar to the singing. Joe Walsh has a song, Randy Meisner has a song, Timothy B. Schmidt has a song, and then you divide the rest between Fry and Henley. Okay, so number 10, first one from The Long Run is Those Shoes. I don't think this was an actual hit, but it is played on the radio all the time.
Yeah.
And I like the guitar.
Wait, we're drummers. That's why we like that song.
I know, but you know what's cool with that song as well is the ending, because the guitar makes it sound like it's well, maybe that and at the end where it sounds like somebody's voice is going ba-dum, ba-dum.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had this. I didn't have this in my top 10, but I still like it. It was number 12. You had it at number 8. Now number 9, blows my mind that you didn't have this. Well, not only not in your top 10, hardly close. You had this at number 15. 15! I had this at number 2. My second favorite song, because if you listen to just the opening alone, it's like there's 3 different openings. Especially, who can do that boom, bloop, boo, doo, doo, with the bass, and then the guitar comes in, bling, bling, and then da-da-da, one of these nights, and so there's your song, One of These Nights. 15. Yet, Love Will Keep Us Alive is number 10, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Preferences, I understand.
Actually, I was gonna say, maybe I like Glenn Fry better than Don Henley singing. That's not true. I actually like Don Henley's songs better.
Yeah, Don Henley does have most. As a matter of fact, on our list again, I think we got 1 Joe Walsh sing song.
Sing some song.
What?
Did he sing?
Yes. 2 Glenn Fry. and the rest are Don Henley.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where I was going with that. So that.
You're just upset I didn't pick One of These Nights.
Right, One of These Nights. I can't believe you have it as low as you have it.
It's
but I was gonna say they have 5 top. The Eagles have 5 top 1, the number 1 hits.
Yeah.
Okay, One of These Nights was the number 1 hit. And it's iconic. And you're like, I don't want iconic in my notes anymore. Now, I was going to say something about that, but then you guys give me the same argument back for Hotel California.
Yeah, what the heck? That's true.
All right.
I'm like, I don't even know if Hotel California made our top 10 with you not liking it. Overplayed.
Well, I didn't put it that low. I just thought in my top 10. All right, so that's number 9, One of These Nights. I'm at least happy it made the top 10. I just can't believe. And when you listen to that song, you talked about Timothy B. Schmidt being able to hit the high notes. At the end of that song, Don Henley hits some high notes.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to attempt to try to do what he does, but he gets way up there. And
I don't know if he could do it anymore. Kind of like Geddy Lee. Geddy Lee was a high singer in Rush until the later years, and he couldn't sing what he used to.
And off topic again. So we were mentioning they started off as a country band, right? And then when we go to the solo career, Don Henley and Glenn Fry don't sound like the Eagles. But Don Henley's last studio album, country album. Cass Country, it's a country album.
Yeah.
So we went back
Billy Joel is the same way. I guess Billy Joel was a smoker.
Okay.
You ever heard Innocent Man?
Yes.
When he gets to the chorus, he's like, he had to have somebody else sing that.
Really?
That part.
Okay.
Live. Because Billy Joel couldn't do it anymore. And then Billy Joel
during the time.
I'll play for you. It says another guy, and then Billy Joel goes, and then it's because it's lower.
That'd be weird.
Yeah,
That'd be weird.
Yeah,
it's like that video you showed me where the guy couldn't say a specific word.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 8. We're not going through this very fast. Number 8. Now that came from One of These Nights, obviously, because it's the title song.
Title song. Yeah.
All right. So number 8 came from Hotel California. So now 3 albums albums in a row, different song. This would be Victim of Love. It was not released as a single, but it was on their second greatest hit, so that's why I put it on the thing for us to rank. But
yeah, we heard it all the time.
man,
you had that album.
well, we played it all the time because it has that good drum part. Right, and
that was their separate guitar solo. It's a drum solo.
Right, and I used to. We actually took drum lessons. Did you?
And that was probably Joe Walsh doing the guitar slide because that's what he's known for. Is he's known for a slide guitar.
And you had to time that, right, to get back in to do the drums again because you're not doing drums during the guitar slide. Okay, next song, "Already Gone" from On the Border. So 4 albums in a row, single songs. This was the only song from that album. Glenn Frey's first song that we're picking. And both of us, well, Victim of Love, I had at number 7, you had at 9. Already Gone, we both put at number 6. So we agree on that. As a matter of fact, these next 3 songs, technically they all tied in point total. Yeah. But I'm putting him in popularity of the world. Once we tie him, popularity of the world.
I'll bet our list is less of their country-based songs too.
Probably.
We like rock more than country.
Now, Already Gone it's
more of a rock.
It's more of a rock one, yeah. But it's still acoustic guitar. It's not electric guitars, right? Okay. And that one gets played quite often on radio too. All right. Next one up, Joe Walsh's only song on our list. This would be number 6 from The Long Run. We just mentioned it. It's also in the Warriors. It's In the City. I have this at number 5. You have it at number 7. So again, 12 points on the last one, 12 points on this one. I rank this higher because, it's from a movie we like. All right, number 5 from Hotel California, that title song. I have this one right outside the top 10, number 11. So it didn't make the top 10, but it's close. You have this as your number 1 song, which is why I ranked it among those groups as the first one, with point total number 12. So the number 5 song, Hotel California. And I mentioned I can have your top 5 backwards, and that's our top 5 in order.
Yeah, but if you went to the world,
yes, that would be number 1.
That would be number 1.
That would be number 1, and that's not really.
Although Heartache Tonight was like their biggest hit, so maybe that'd be number 1. Maybe Hotel California would be.
What's interesting? It's not really a guitar solo in the middle of a song for Hotel California. It's a start,
it's the end,
and it's a really long ending, but nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
And I meant to say this when we did One of These Nights. That is probably Eagles' best middle guitar solo. If you think about it, listen to that song. It's their only guitar solo that I can think of in the middle. So it's pretty well known, I think. Not like Pink Floyd. Okay, number 4, also from Hotel California. This would be Life in the Fast Lane. This was your number 2 song. Obviously, you're doing reverse. And this was...
and that intro to Life in the Fast Lane.
Yeah. Is that
was,
Joe Walsh?
No, the guitarists were just playing around in a hotel room, and they're just doing riffs. And so, I like that. Do that again. And that was an intro song based on them just playing around.
And that's got to be a double bass too, because we had a drum set, and you can you can't do that with 1 foot on a drum, right? Okay, so that was number 4. Number 3 comes from Hell Freezes Over, the song we said they should play. Get over it, and they definitely need to play it today because people get their feelings hurt just by anything.
Yeah.
I'm offended by that, and that, and that, and that.
Get over it.
Get over it, right.
Yeah, they don't play that song. Get over it.
Now, I have this at number 3. You have this at number 4. So this one actually ties for number 2 because the other song also is your 3rd, my 4th. Okay? But this one is down below it because it's that song that's probably the most popular, and that would be Heartache Tonight. So Glenn Frey does get the 2nd best song according to us, and that would be Heartache Tonight, and that's from The Long Run. So,
all right, so now our
number 1 song. All right, I have this as my number 1 song. Chris has it at number 5, and that would be The Long Run. And first of all, we like the.
That surprises me. I didn't know what it was. I was just joking there. I'm like, oh, what
You didn't
tell
know
me
what it was? Okay.
No, so
It's the long run. I like the begin. The beginning. But it's simple, but the guitar with it is really good. I think that's Joe Walsh.
Yeah.
I like it when that's like you said. I think you've said this when Piano Man comes on. You're like, oh, I like this. And I do that with the long run.
Because it's never on?
Rarely. And you definitely can't find a YouTube video on that song, for sure. Yeah, so the long run is my favorite. That's why I like Don Henley's songs best on that too. He's got some really good ones. So that would be our list. And
everybody's wondering, well, how come New Kid in Town wasn't on that one?
That would be is that their last country-ish song? Because that one's a country-ish song.
That was before Long Run.
That was Hotel California. Yeah, there were like 4 Hotel California songs that I know. Victim of Love, well, we have 3 of them. And that would be the only one from Hotel California that didn't make it, right? Sad Cafe is my favorite song from them. That's a slow one.
Because it starts with the keyboards.
Well, but it's got I love the saxophone solo at the end. Yeah, it gets there's a really high note. It almost makes you cry.
No, and don't cry. Remember we talked about this.
Oh. Okay, so that's our top 10 list from the Eagles. I know you don't agree. We didn't agree with each other much on that one, for sure.
Yeah, it's always the more songs they have, the less we agree on.
Yeah. And now what's interesting, I think this band and the next band, we're probably going to do the most videos of individuals in the bands, right? So we got the Eagles, and I'm sure we're going to do Glenn Frey by himself. We're definitely going to do Don Henley by himself. We may do Joe Walsh by himself. He has a lot of hits, right? Wasn't in the list I gave you, but we'll eventually get him. But our next band probably has more, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing a band that had lots of members split off and have solo careers.
And we've already had a video.
We already did one guy who was in it, right? So sure you can guess who it is. Should we if you want to reveal, go ahead.
No.
All right.
That's enough.
So we've already done one of the members of this band. Now we're going to do the band itself, and that's our next week. Similar to the Eagles, had their start. Actually, they had their start in the '60s, didn't they?
The Genesis?
Yeah.
Genesis! We're doing Genesis!
Duh.
I forgot.
I was blank. So yeah, we're doing Genesis. So I'm sure we already did Phil Collins, then we'll do we're doing Genesis next week. We'll eventually do Peter Gabriel.
And
Mike and the Mechanics. Right? I don't know if there's anybody else outside that group.
Tony Banks probably doesn't have a solo.
He doesn't have a solo.
He might have had an album.
Steve Hackett, he went to another band, but it's not really a solo career. Is that it?
Yeah.
But that'll be 5 videos, or
we already did one. So
4. Okay. So 4 for
not
Eagles.
4 in a row. It'd be spread out depending on where
4
they are.
4 for the Eagles, list. 4 for Genesis, 4 for the Van Halen, because we did Van Halen separately. Then you got Sammy Hagar, David Lee Roth,
which we haven't done yet.
So
till then,
there you go. We'll see you next week.
bye.
Bye.